Hey mathematicians, and happy Monday. Hope everyone is doing well and ready for another great week. Take a look at our little joke to get us started today. It says opinion divided by 3.14 equals approximately onion. So hopefully you get that because you know 3.14 is the same as pi. So opinion divided by pi, you can take out the pi and you're left with onion. Okay, someone had to laugh. Ewan, did you laugh? Maybe. I'm just imagining like Lucas and Liam going, oh, I get it. I miss you guys, obviously, as you can tell, but I am so grateful for your engagement and excitement with learning, and let's keep that up as we move forward into week 2 and beyond. So, the usual things, make sure you're comfortable for class. You are in a place that's distraction free. For me, that means sitting at my kitchen table. Sometimes it means sitting in my room and shutting the door. Sometimes it means sitting outside and getting some fresh air. So find what works for you. Check the assignment sheet that is posted on the WESP website so you have your materials prepared for class. And as a reminder, stay in touch with me. Email me with questions. Come to the office hours Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 11 to 12, and you're going to use the code MATH5Phillips and connect with one another. Talk to each other if you have questions, lean on each other for support and for collaboration. Today, our focus is going to be on comparing rates by finding the unit rate. So we started talking about unit rate last week, and we're going to continue that on today's lesson as we compare rates. All right, so last week we started talking about unit rates, and a unit rate is finding a rate with a denominator of 1, so something per 1. A car can travel 65 miles per hour. I can eat 4 Hershey Kisses in 1 minute. That's a lot of Hershey Kisses. I don't know if I could do that, but that would be an example of a unit rate. So making sure we have a denominator of 1. So we can compare unit rates that have the blank unit of measure. I want you to think about what might go in there. We can compare unit rates that have the same unit of measure. For example, here I am right here. We can compare the number of push-ups that Liam can do in 1 minute to the number of push-ups that Thomas could do in 1 minute. Maybe that'll be an activity later this week. Those are unit rates that we can compare. Because the unit of measure is the same, we wouldn't compare how many push-ups Liam could do in an hour to Thomas's 1 minute. As you know, Liam would get quite increasingly tired over the hour compared to Thomas's burst of energy in a minute. So hours and minutes are not the same measurement, so we wouldn't be able to compare them. We would have to make them equal or have the same measurement. So when we find the unit rate, and we're comparing two rates, we want to get that unit rate down to a denominator of 1. And remember that we're only going to be comparing things that are going to have the same units of measure. So minutes or hours or days. Those are all going to be examples of units of measure. So let's take a look at one over here. This practice problem says Daniel painted 9 planks in 6 minutes and Meredith painted 22 planks in 11 minutes. Who painted at a faster rate? What I want you to do right now in your math notebook or on a whiteboard with marker and eraser is can you create a ratio for each of those examples? So create a ratio that shows Daniel's rate and Meredith's rate. If you need to pause this for more time, go ahead and pause it and press play when you're ready. But if we wrote Daniel's rate, we would have 9 planks over 6 minutes. And then Meredith's rate would be 22 planks over 11 minutes. The next thing I'm going to ask you to do is to write each rate as a unit rate. So we have 9 planks for 6 minutes. I'm going to switch my window over here. 9 planks for 6 minutes. Let me see if I can get that here. 9, and I'm going to do P for planks and for 6 minutes, and I'll do M for minutes. So here is my rate, but I was asked to find the unit rate. So remember, that means I need to have a denominator of 1. So I'm going to make a proportion here. And if he can paint 9 planks in 6 minutes, I want to see how long it would take him, or how many planks he could paint in 1 minute. Remember, you have 2 strategies here. You can think about, how do you get from 6 to 1? We get from 6 to 1 by dividing by 6. So then whatever we did to the denominator, we would want to do to the numerator. Like a tongue twister. So we would divide by 6. Another strategy you can do is cross multiplication. So I could do 9 times 1 equals 9. And then I'll put my x up here. That's what we're trying to find. And 6 times x equals 6x. And then to get my x alone, I'm going to want to divide. They cancel out. And then I have 9 divided by 6. So either way, you're being asked to do 9 divided by 6. If you want to set that up as a long division problem, you would do 9 divided by 6. So go ahead right now and find Daniel's unit rate by doing 9 divided by 6. All right, you did 9 divided by 6, and what did you get? 1.5? 1.5? Very good. So Daniel's unit rate means that he can paint 1.5 planks per minute. So let's go back over. Here we go. So Daniel's unit rate, I'm going to add that underneath here. Daniel's unit rate was 1.5 planks per minute. Great. Now we're going to do Meredith's unit rate. And we're going to use that same strategy. So Meredith's rate was 22 planks for 11 minutes. Let me get a clean page here. Do you guys like my fancy new sketch pad I'm using? All right, we said it was 22 planks. I need to get a mouse so I can have a little better handwriting up here. Joey, my handwriting's not so nice anymore, is it? All right, and remember, we can compare these 2 rates because their unit of measure is the same. It was minutes for Daniel, and it's still minutes for Meredith. So now I have 22 planks for 11 minutes. So again, I want to create a proportion and finding a unit rate, so it's 1 minute. So here, actually, it's going to be easier for me to make equivalent fractions than it is to do cross multiplication. So I get from 11 to 1 by dividing by 11. So I'm going to do that same thing at the top. If I have 22 divided by 11, that's going to give me 2. So now Meredith's unit rate, because her denominator is 1, is 2 planks per 1 minute. So 2 planks per minute. And then we can compare them. So who's the faster painter? Daniel, who can paint 1.5 planks per minute, or Meredith, who can paint 2 planks per minute? If I was paying someone by the minute to paint for me, I would want someone who could paint 2 planks in 1 minute. They would get the job done faster. So Meredith would be our faster painter. All right, let's give some a shot. Let's give a few questions a shot while we're together. So let's take a look at number 1. 51 hits on John's website in 3 hours. That means 51 people visited his website in 3 hours, or 96 hits on Shayna's website in 6 hours. So which one has the greater rate? Who got more hits per hour? Hour is our form of measurement here, so we can compare those rates. We're going to do that first by finding the unit rate and then compare. So let's take a look at John's first. 51 hits in 3 hours. I'm going to go over. 51 hits in 3 hours. Okay, go ahead now and pause this. I'm going to pause too, and I want you guys to find the unit rate. Remember, unit rate has a denominator of 1. You can do that by making an equivalent fraction or by cross multiplying and dividing. And after you've solved, come back and press play and we'll compare what we got. I'll see you guys in a second. All right, so I got 17 hits in 1 hour, and I did that by finding equivalent fractions, and I divided both the numerator and the denominator by 3. It's totally fine if you did cross multiplication and solving a one-step equation because it should get you the same answer. So let's go back to that problem. We found that John's unit rate, and now we're going to find Shayna's, which was 96 hits in 6 hours. So 96 over 6, I'm just going to do that small over here, 96 hits in 6 hours. So same thing, go ahead and find the unit rate for Shayna. Go ahead and pause this video and I'll see you back here once you've found the unit rate. All right, to find Shayna's unit rate, I did the same thing. I thought, how do I get from 6 to 1? Divide by 6. So then I also divided the numerator by 6, and I got 16 hits in 1 hour. So now let's compare this. We had Shane and we had Shauna, and who had the greater unit rate? Think about, or who had the greater rate? Think about the circumstances here. If you have an up-and-coming website or you're selling a product, which would you rather have? Would you rather have 17 visitors within 1 hour, or would you rather have 16 visitors within an hour? You would want a lot of action on your website, so we would say 17 hits in 1 hour would be the stronger rate. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry, it wasn't Sean's, it was John. Ooh, Monday brain. Okay, let's try one more together, and then I'll let you guys get some practice in. So we're comparing 330 miles on 15 gallons or traveling 240 miles using 10 gallons. So 330 over 15. So 330 miles going on a road trip, and that is 15 gallons. Ask your parents too about their gas mileage in each of their cars. That would be interesting because you could compare who gets better mileage by finding the unit rate or how much they get on for 1 gallon of gas. And we are comparing that to 240 miles in 10 gallons. All right, set up my proportions to find my unit rate so I can figure out who traveled more miles per gallon. So remember, think of the circumstance. We want the higher numerator for more miles out of 1 gallon. Okay, go ahead and pause now, find your unit rates, and I'll see you in a moment. Okay, when you solved, you found your unit rates of 22 miles per gallon and 24 miles per gallon. So we would say that this is a greater rate, 240 miles per 10 gallons. I'm going to take you quickly over, before the video cuts me off, to today's practice, which will be in Google Classroom, and it's a link to a Google form. So you're going to find the unit rates and compare them. And as always, let me know what questions you have. Email me, use those office hours. I miss you guys. I'll see you tomorrow.